These pages hold my quiet cries, the words I hid behind my eyes, to queens and ghosts and younger me. I write to set the silence free. Letters I never sent, wounds I never meant, stories locked in tear-stained ink, on the edge where hope and heartbreak link. Each line a step, each word a key to find the self they couldn't see.
There's something deeply unsettling about chasing something you can't quite catch. Something that glimmers for a second, like light through stained glass, just enough to make you believe you're almost there. You reach, again, and again, and it slips forward, a breath away, a heartbeat too far. That's what hope feels like sometimes. Not a gentle comfort, not always the soft thing people make it out to be. Sometimes hope is a fever dream. Sometimes hope is the white rabbit. Running, darting, never turning around to check if you're keeping up. Just motioning with a twitch of its ear, a flick of its tail. This way, it says, come on, just a little further. It doesn't explain the cliffs. It doesn't warn you about the fall. It doesn't tell you how long the tunnel will be or how much light you'll lose along the way. And still, you follow. Because you remember one time, just one, when chasing hope actually led somewhere soft. You remember how it felt when your feet finally landed, even if only for a moment, on solid ground. But here's the truth. Hope doesn't always feel like a warm blanket, or a sunrise, or a reassuring voice telling you it'll be okay. Sometimes hope is a wild-eyed and barefoot. Sometimes hope is stubborn and messy, and just as afraid as you are. Sometimes hope is the version of you that won't stop running, even when your lungs burn, even when your knees shake, even when you want to give up and go home, because you've gotten lost one too many times already. Hope says just a little further. Hope says, I know this hurts, but keep going. Hope says that maybe this time the fall won't hurt, and maybe that's enough. This episode is for that version of me, the one still chasing, the one still hoping, the one that's tired but not done. The part of me that wants to believe that something beautiful is still waiting somewhere past this next twist or turn or terrifying leap. So today I'm reading out loud a letter I wrote to my hope. Not the polished kind, not hope dressed in ribbon and perfume, but the kind of hope that frayed edges and dirt under its fingernails. The kind of hope that doesn't always know where it's going but refuses to stop moving. The kind of hope that stumbles through Wonderland barefoot, heart pounding, eyes wide, a little afraid, but refusing to give up. Dear Hope, you're exhausting. And I mean that in the most loving, maddening, stubborn way possible. You never sit still. You never give me a moment to catch my breath. You are always tugging at the hem of my thoughts like a child who knows there's candy just around the next corner. You are the white rabbit with his twitching whiskers and frantic pace, always muttering, there isn't enough time, we're late, we have to keep going. And so I go, I chase you, even when I'm tired, even when I'm aching, even when my legs feel like they're made of worry and my chest tightens under the weight of 1,000 disappointments. I chase you through the thickets of doubt, through forests of silence. I follow you into places I promised myself I'd never return to. Memories I boarded up, voices I buried, dreams I outgrew for the sake of survival. But still, I run after you. Because what if this time you're right? What if the door really opens? What if the path doesn't vanish beneath my feet? What if the tea party isn't a trap? What if this time I'm not the only one bringing my full self to the table? What if this time someone actually listens, stays, sees me? You are not quiet, Hope. You are not calm. You are not soft-spoken or patient or logical. You are loud and wild and impossibly persistent, but you show up when I least expect you, when the lights are off and I'm curled up in the corner of my own doubt, when I have told myself I'm done believing in anything. And still, there you are, tapping your foot, pointing towards some faraway maybe, tilting your head like you know something I don't. Reading that, I'm kind of laughing to myself because it's true. I get mad at hope, I do. I yell at it in my head like it's a friend who always overpromises and underdelivers. But also, I can't stay mad for long. Because hope is why I wrote this book. Hope is why I keep podcasting. Hope is why I keep reaching for people who may never reach back. It's stubborn and it's mine. Back to the letter. Dear Hope, sometimes I resent you. Truly, deeply resent you. I resent the way you tricked me into caring again. Into softening the scar tissue I worked so hard to grow. Into peeling off the armor I swore I'd never remove. You whisper just loud enough to get past my defenses, just tender enough to sound like truth, and suddenly I find myself reaching again. For people, for possibilities, for healing, for things I told myself I was better off without. You don't let me stay numb. You won't let me stay folded in on myself. Just when the darkness starts to feel safe, when I begin to think maybe I'm better off sleeping through life, you tap my shoulder with your ridiculous little gloved paw and say, not yet, there's something ahead. And God, I hate how convincing you are. You never give me enough time to harden completely. You catch me in those moments where I still have breath in my lungs and just enough ache in my chest to be dangerous. You tug at those loose threads, and before I know it, I'm unraveling all over again. You make me try. You make me hope. And so I chase you, even when I say I won't, even when I swear I'm done. I chase you down holes I didn't dig, through forests of fog and half-formed memories, past locked doors with no keys, and queens with sharp voices and sharper rules. I chase you through grief that clings to my ankles, through silence so thick I can hear my own name, through memories that don't knock. They crash through walls, loud and burning and unwelcome. You never promise it will be easy. You never promise it won't hurt. But somehow you always pull me toward the next moment, even when my knees buckle, even when I'm crawling, even when I curse you under my breath. You pull me, sometimes dragging me by the wrist like I'm late for something important, sometimes dancing just out of reach, laughing like you know something I don't, but always forward, always onward. You are the ache that refuses to be ignored, the whisper that rises above the noise, the movement I can't quiet. And maybe I don't want to, not really. Not if it means going dumb again. Not if it means giving up the chase entirely. Because as much as I resent you, as much as I yell at you in my quiet moments, I still follow. I still run, I still hope. Because somewhere, deep beneath all that resentment, is a small, stubborn flicker of belief. The part of me that still wants to believe you're leading me somewhere worth going. And so I run. Not because I trust the path, but because I trust the pull. Because I trust you. Even if I don't always like it, even if I don't always understand it, even if I'm tired, I run. That's the thing about healing. It's not linear. Everyone says that, but they don't talk about how much healing is just a walk around in circles. Chasing something that might not even be real. Chasing closure. Chasing answers. Chasing the feeling of being chosen. And yet, when I stop moving, when I sit in the quiet, hope still knocks. Gently sometimes. Sometimes like thunder. Dear Hope, you are the reason I keep going to therapy. Even when I dread the questions. Even when I'm not sure if I'm strong enough to hear the answers. You are the reason I show up and sit on that couch, week after week, trying to untangle the mess inside me with nothing but words and worn-out metaphors. You are the reason I write things I'm afraid to say out loud. The reason I stare at blank pages until my heart cracks open and spills something raw and unpolished across the lines. You are the reason I keep pressing into the ache instead of building another wall. even when it hurts, even when it feels like no one is listening, even when the words don't make anything better. You are the reason I pull myself back from the edge, not because I'm certain of what's waiting on solid ground, but because some tiny part of me believes there might be something worth returning to, something good, something different, something that hasn't happened yet. I don't follow you because I know things will be okay. I follow you because you remind me that things could be okay, that something I can't see yet might still unfold, that I don't have to understand the ending to take the next step. You are not certainty. You are not stability or safety or any of the things I used to think I needed. You are not a safe place to land, not always. You are the wind at my back when all I want is to stop moving. You are the whisper that says, let's try again. Even when I'm afraid, even when I'm angry, even when I'm too tired to believe in anything else. You never demand that I have it all figured out. You just ask me to take one more breath, to write one more sentence, to show up one more day. And I hate you for it sometimes. But I also owe you my life. Because every time I thought the pain would win, every time I was sure the darkness would swallow me whole, you slipped your hand into mine and said, just a little further, don't stop yet. You never promised it would be easy. You never promised I won't get hurt again. But you do promise that this ache, this struggle, this climb is not the end of the story. And even if I don't know how to believe that, if I believe you believe it, and sometimes that's enough. So I'll keep writing, I'll keep unpacking, keep walking with trembling legs and open wound of a heart. Not because I'm brave, but because I'm still chasing you. And maybe someday I'll catch up. Maybe someday I'll understand why you never gave up on me. But until then, I'll keep listening for your whisper. I'll keep following the sound. I'll keep choosing forward, even when I don't know what I'm walking toward. Let's try anyway. Some days, I wish I could just press pause on hope. Let myself lay down, not care, just exist. But I think if I ever actually let go of hope completely, something vital in me would go quiet. Hope has a voice. It's usually quiet, not loud, but a shimmer. It sounds like text her. She might answer this time. It sounds like, what if you write it down anyway? It sounds like maybe someone will understand you. And I don't always follow it right away, but I hear it, and eventually I get up again. You are not always kind, Hope. Sometimes you promise me things you can't deliver. Sometimes you leave me standing at locked doors, heart racing, hands trembling. But other times you lead me to people I never thought I'd meet. To moments that feel like magic. To feelings I thought were gone forever. You led me to the vision of me that writes this. The one who knows she deserves more than crumbs. The one who dares to want something real. You are relentless, and I'm learning that maybe that's not a bad thing. I used to think I was too much, too emotional, too intense, too hopeful. But now I think I was just another way the world tried to shrink me. Tried to put hope in a cage. Tried to turn my belief into something better, into a flaw. But what if hope is a rebellion? What if it is my refusal to go numb? Maybe that's what Wonderland teaches us. That nothing makes sense and still somehow we press on, we keep going. Not because we know where we're going, but because something inside us whispers that going is still worth it. Dear Hope, thank you for being the white rabbit. Thank you for not letting me rot in place. Thank you for being the part of me that still dreams. Thank you for your urgency even when it hurts. I forgive you for leading me down paths that scared me. I forgive you for the times you ran ahead and I couldn't keep up. I'm learning to trust that you'll circle back, that I'll find you again around the next bend. And when I do, I'll follow, even if my knees are scraped, even if I'm scared, even if the tea is cold and the door is small. Because with you, there is still a chance. With you, there's still a story. And I want to see how it ends. Love, me. If you've ever been chasing your own white rabbit, your own version of hope, I want you to know you're not alone. Even when it runs too fast, even when it disappears for a while, even when you're not sure it's worth it. There's something powerful about choosing to chase it anyway. Hope isn't naive, it's brave. Hope isn't fragile, it's fierce. And the fact that you're still here, still listening, still wondering, that means something. You are not behind. You are not broken. You're just in motion. And sometimes chasing hope, that's the most radical wonderland thing you can do. So keep going, even if it's messy, even if the path bends, even if your heart aches. Because somewhere ahead, behind a teacup or a keyhole or a crooked smile, there's hope waiting for you to catch up. And I think this time, it might just stay long enough for tea.